Let's now go to Brianna Keeler. She's got new information for us on this. Brianna.
That's right, Chris, and I want to bring in our crime and justice reporter, Shimon Prokupecz, to bring us up to date on what's going on. This is an ongoing situation right now. We have certain facts that we are aware of, but this is something that law enforcement is still investigating, and they're not sure if there's other devices out there.
Right, that's exactly right. They're not sure if there are other devices out there. Look, they think they have a handle on what's already out there. We know that there are 5 devices that they have definitively linked. We're now getting word that there could be the 6th device, which was sent to Maxine Waters, which is likely going to be linked as well. So they have now 6 devices, live devices, bombs essentially, that have been sent all over this country that they're now investigating, and no word yet even if they know who's behind this. But I can tell you the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force, which is working this investigation with obviously their partners, they have a lot of people now assigned to this. They've added people, and they're moving forward to try and figure out who was behind this.
I want to bring in David Chipman. He is, you used to be with ATF, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, and you were a certified bomb specialist in that capacity. When you look at what's going on here, and you hear people saying, these are rudimentary bombs. We were talking off camera. You said that does not matter.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I've seen more bomb techs and civilians injured from devices they thought were fake, hoaxes, or rudimentary. I mean, this is a real deal. It's of concern. Our country's been attacked. And I just want to acknowledge CNN has been attacked. And I get it. Walking into your studios today, it was different. I talked to the security guards. They were all, you know, doing their best. And I felt different walking here. So our country's been attacked. This is a serious thing. I know, you know, the speed of this story is going quick, and we want to say who did it. But we'll find out by doing an investigation and exploiting the evidence that has been recovered.
With your expertise, how do you, at this point in time, I mean, these are live explosive devices.
Yes.
Thank God nothing has detonated so far.
Right.
And I mean, I can't even express how obviously thankful we are, but because that has not happened, that doesn't mean there hasn't been an attack. That seems to be the distinction that you are making, that just because something has not exploded, don't treat this as
I feel
as
very
it's not
comfortable
seriously.
saying this is a terrorist attack.
Yes.
It has an intended purpose to develop, you know, spread fear. I'm a trained ATF agent. I felt scared coming to CNN today. So I get it. Like, so this is a real thing. It's ongoing. And now we're going to trust that our law enforcement, FBI, Secret Service, ATF, postal inspectors who've trained for this game day, they're going to do their job, and we're going to catch who did this, if it's one person, a group of people. But I would just caution that, like, I was at Oklahoma City. I've worked bombings where...
The first World Trade Center
yes,
bombing.
and Oklahoma City is the perfect thing. When I rolled up on that scene, we had just, a couple years earlier, investigated the World Trade Center. I thought, oh, this is a foreign attack, right? Well, that's not true. We have no idea what the intentions of this person are now. I believe we will discover that. But as an investigator, they're just looking at the evidence now. To do otherwise would distract you and probably miss some clues.
Do the intentions matter when there is the effect that this has had when it comes to labeling this as terrorism? And if so, why do you think that we're not seeing some officials, including the president, label it as such?
If I'm Chris Cuomo, my brother received a device. Like, to me, it's very personal.
I have to be very clear. Apparently that may not have been linked to this.
But certainly...
But there was a concern at a certain point.
I mean, like, I think it's personal, and I think that we don't serve anyone well by not acknowledging that fact. But we're all professionals, right? You're going to do your job. Investigators are going to do their job. And I think we can acknowledge that our country has been attacked. There was an intention, and that was at a minimum to freak people out, potentially to kill people. But
if you're just trying to freak someone out, you wouldn't send a live explosive device, right?
You wouldn't think so, right?
Because the assumption is that it could
But you'd want to send something that would trigger, you know, to make sure it was found, those kind of things. And these are where we speculate. This is not normal. Okay, we do not every day cover a story where multiple devices are sent to every institution of government in the media. It is different than some of the attacks on government recently. You know, we have a shooting at a softball game. We have the shooting in Maryland against the press. But this is an attack on our country and its institutions, and that's where we start. And now we're going to leave it up to professionals to find out who did it and why.
So where do they go from here? And what would be your concerns, especially as Shimon has reported? They believe they have a handle on all of the devices that they know are out there, but there's this unknown about whether there are more.
Yeah, having a handle on devices should not send the message that everything's fine and civilians should start handling their mail if it looks suspicious. I mean, no, this is an ongoing situation, and I think law enforcement wants to let the public know that they're trained for this, and we're going to, get to the bottom of it.
What should civilians know then? What should they?
They should, if there's a suspicious package, you would want to not touch it and get officials to look at it.
So you don't know where it's from? Is that
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
what
just
you
normal
don't know
stuff.
where it's
got,
from? You're not expecting
80
it.
stamps on it. It's like, it looks
And
weird,
also
like
the
trust your gut.
spelling, right? Like the one in New York, the spelling was all off. And to his point about what police are intending to do now, as we've seen already in D.C., they're going to be tweeting out photos of what to look for, the envelope specifically, or anything else. We expect NYPD to send something out shortly to businesses. This is what you should look for if you have any questions or if there's any suspicion about a package. Call us. The other thing I want to make a point is that the FBI, this might as well be a terrorist attack. The Joint Terrorism Task Force is in charge of this investigation. So all those investigators who normally do this kind of work on terrorism cases are involved.
And so they're mobilized as if this is
yes.
a
Absolutely.
terrorist attack,
Yes.
whether it's being labeled as such or not. And I do want to get back now to Chris Cuomo there outside of Time Warner Center there in New York. It's really interesting, Chris, to hear David Shipman, a former certified explosive specialist, say that from his perspective, whether or not this is something that has exploded, this is an attack, and that CNN has been attacked.
100%. We're just very lucky that nobody was hurt, at least this time. So what you need to do is close the circle as quickly as possible, find out who's responsible, and how to stop any further actions from the same. Now, one function of that analysis will be, well, how